What up? What up? What up, you guys? It's Blackwing 2040. Welcome back to the DC Animated Universe Marathon, where Tex and I go through the iconic episodes as well as some of our favorite episodes of the DC Animated Universe. Well, folks, it is time to start our next show, Superman the Animated Series, which I would say is pretty much the underdog of this entire franchise.
I have
So,
to agree.
yeah, before we even get started, Tex, how you been, man?
Oh, I've been great, man. Been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I actually have quite a few fond memories of this series.
It's crazy though, because I think the first time I saw an episode or just anything with like a solo Superman project would have to be the Brainiac Attacks movie.
Yeah.
It came on Boomerang,
hmm
and that was like my first like full on taste of Superman the animated series, even though Brainiac Attacks is not part of that continuity. Yet they use the same animation style, which kind of boggles my mind.
Very genre. I didn't know it wasn't. Looking back, I can see it because of the clear differences, but until you told me, I had no idea.
Makes sense, especially with how the interactions go with like Lex interacting with Brainiac and like
Oh,
okay,
yeah. I rewatched the movie recently. I was like, yeah, this is not my Clancy Brown Lex, man. This is a different person.
No, this is animated Gene Hackman Lex.
Yeah, so
But yeah, before we go forward, recently this past weekend was Batman Day. So how'd you celebrate your Batman Day? If you didn't, I don't blame you.
my Batman Day. Think I played him on that multiverses game. I was like, there you go. That game with him. Said happy Batman Day, called it a day.
Yeah, all I did was just watch Batman 1989. I was gonna watch more movies. I was gonna watch Batman Forever, then Under the Red Hood, and then whatchamacallit, the
I still watch Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? After I finished 1989, I'm just like, all right, I'm Batmaned out. I we already rewatched the entire animated series
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
exactly.
So I'm like, I already
Yeah.
had my fill of Batman for this month, and on top of that, I was replaying the Arkham franchise. I was going through Arkham Knight for the first time on my P5. So it's that game really is gonna keep me busy, especially with the way how it does.
I believe that.
I'm just like, wow. This is gonna be a long game to go through, and I'm not even looking forward to collecting all the Riddler trophies. Granted, how mind you, it's like 30 Riddler trophies less than there are in Arkham Knight than there is in Arkham City. I'm just like, okay, so it's 30 trophies less than there was in Arkham City. All right, I'll take it. That's fine. That's works for me. But yeah, I had my enough fill of Batman for the year. I'm good. Probably the only Batman stuff I will only want to watch is Batman Beyond, and trust me, we're gonna get to Batman Beyond, folks. We hopefully by December. That is the plan. That's the goal. That's hopefully we can get to Batman Beyond by the end before the year is out. Hopefully, but we've done enough talking. We're about to start Superman the animated series, and we're gonna be doing commentary on the pretty much three-parter. We got our first three-parter of this marathon. We've done nothing but two-parters with BTAS. Now we got three-parters. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. So Tex, you ready?
Definitely.
All righty. Before let me just check something because I don't want the the audio to be playing. I'm being like, wait a minute.
I get you.
I'm like, I don't want
taken down.
Yeah, especially with the stuff that WB's been going through lately. Blows my mind. All right, so let's get this party started. And if you're watching along with us, we're about to begin the episode in 3, 2, 1.
I know it's a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
After saying, the adventures of whatever their name, whatever we named them for so long, but I actually prefer this opening. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even say it's better because a lot of it is just like clips from the actual episode.
It really is clips from the entire. Most of it's clips from the first season because I was watching episodes that we weren't gonna do commentary on. It was like this whole intro is just clips of, first season shots.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a few things I truly love about it. Like, I love how the music gets softer when it focuses on Lois.
Yeah,
I
and
love
Jimmy.
I love this shot.
Oh yeah, this is a very nice shot.
Yeah, the
And
shot
then
of Lex hitting the thing as it blows up.
and it picks right back up again.
Yeah, just the end pose. Yeah, here you go. Parasite, a whole 10 episodes early and Lobo. This is just the opening, you know.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of those, you know.
Yep. Like smashes the control.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
The Last Son of Krypton, Part 1.
I wholeheartedly love. This was probably one of my favorite things about something like Man of Steel. I love anytime they do a Superman origin, they don't just skip what happened on Krypton. It's like I actually want to know Krypton.
Like
I'm not gonna go your word for long, but I want to
you actually want to see you actually want to see life on Krypton.
Yeah, the culture, how it led to what it led to.
Yep, and there's Jor-El.
I don't remember who voiced him in this series, but he was really standout. Even as a kid, I wholeheartedly always remember Jor-El is like, oh yeah, he only lasted like one episode, but pretty good, you know.
Let me look. Jor-El voiced. Let's see. Case. No, wait, no, that's not it. Christopher McDonald.
Okay. I think I've heard him somewhere else too. At least in the DCAU, I just can't think of it.
I think in that one episode for The Man Who Has Everything.
Because he came back for that?
Yeah, Jor-El shows back up for the fantasy that
Yeah, I always assumed it was a different voice actor because I know they wanted him to be. I know he was a bit older in that.
Oh wait, now I remember. He also voiced Superman in Batman Beyond. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay, that's what it was.
There we go.
That's nice. I wonder if that was planned.
Who knows?
To an extent. I never realized how much he looks like Clark, man. He looks like Clark. Maybe a bit darker, but that's Superman. That's Clark Kent right there, man. Yeah. He looks just like his son.
Relations. That's that Kryptonian genetics.
I actually don't remember this set piece. I feel like I'm watching like a sci-fi version of the thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really, I shouldn't say a sci-fi, but like a Krypton version of it, I guess. Let me say that.
Horrific.
Yeah, Krypton is such a disgusting place to live, man. Like, unless if it's not in the cities, I just feel like I wouldn't want to be there, man.
And like at this point, the only Kryptonian city you want to live in is Kandor.
So this ice, all this is on Krypton. So this somehow leading into like, oh yeah, this is what a Fortress of Solitude is like, crystal surrounded by like the Arctic.
Maybe, I don't know. Because I only saw this episode like once.
Same mode.
Brainiac.
This is my first introduction to Brainiac before I realized a lot of versions have him and actually had come from a species.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I prefer more. I like both so much for different reasons.
It's very interesting having Brainiac be a Kryptonian AI for Krypton versus, being an actual being from Kolu. So it's a toss-up. It's a really big toss-up.
I think for his relationship with Superman, it works best when he's like actually like, oh yeah, your father built me, or at the very least Krypton built me. Like in one way, he's like, I think he says it in the future, we are both the last sons of Krypton. I think that's a really hardcore line. I look at Baby Clark already walking.
And look, Baby Kal-El.
But Kolu is also like, I kind of dig it, but it just depends on the version.
Yeah.
Look, it's a Laura.
And
it would be hilarious if her name was also Martha. So.
Oh my gosh, don't go there. Let's not go there. Have you watched the show Krypton?
I watched the first few episodes. I was really into it. And then I heard it got canceled. And I heard it ended on like a cliffhanger. And I hate finishing shows that get canceled. And then they end up. I don't want to finish it now. Because if I finish it, I'm going to be sad if I like it. I feel the same way about Swamp Thing.
Because I know Brainiac is in that show. I know Doomsday makes an appearance in that show. But I'm just like.
Yeah, so does Lobo. Which, it's kind of like, it kind of runs into the same. With Superman, it makes a bit more sense than with Gotham and Batman. Because I swear most of Batman's villains already exist before he even before he hit puberty. At least like with Superman, you could understand like, oh yeah, Brainiac, Doomsday. A lot of these guys probably did exist before him.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend it if you just want a nice, decent sci-fi show.
Yeah. Lara's father.
I remember this guy.
I think that's Tony J, I believe.
You know more than me.
Let me see. Tremors.
Actually was pretty bold of them to have the whole first episode not be about Superman, but about his planet,
Yeah.
It's kind of like having the first episode of BTS be about the not the kids, the Waynes.
The Waynes.
And like it ends with them going to the theater. It's like that's very bold if you do this and stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Yep, Tony J, the voice of Sylvan. He also voiced a few characters in other works like Galactus in the Fantastic Four animated show in the 90s.
Oh, okay. I used to love that show. So I mean, I feel that. I was just looking at a clip from that show when Ghost Rider
showed up and gave Galactus the penance there.
It's a freaking superhero. What did Ben say? He said all the superheroes are showing up. Oh man,
I forgot.
See, this is why I kind of do love like Brainiac being inherently a part of Krypton, because it's like, yeah, but it does kind of take, I don't know, it kind of adds to it, but also kind of takes away why Krypton blew up. Yeah, we overdid it ourselves. We were too blind to see, but it still kind of works because it's like, yeah, we were too trusting of Brainiac,
Yeah.
Which I get it, He's a machine. He can't be wrong with calculations, right? But how could they ever know that he was a flawed machine?
Slight polar shift, yeah, right.
Slight polar shift. Like I this Brainiac is a bit more sassy too than I'm used to, so that probably helps.
Sassy and more sadistic.
I definitely love that because I think the whole computer vibe is cool sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I think it makes sense because hey, he modeled himself after the worst aspects of his creators in this show,
Yeah.
Very egotistical, very
pig-headed,
Yeah. I'm always right.
Non-superstitious.
Exactly,
Sheesh.
Yeah, I get that. But that just says y'all should have another plan. Like you guys are some pretty advanced people. You telling me the only if your planet did meet a fate like that, you have no place to put your people.
Even his father-in-law had lost trust in him. That's sad.
I was kind of mad at this when I was younger. I know eventually he makes up for it because the father-in-law he helps in the end. And all of this is very cathartic when none of these characters survive and they all regret it. So it's kind of sad.
It is sad. The whole regardless whether you watch it in animated form or in the Christopher Reeves form, which I feel like the destruction of Krypton, the whole Krypton scene in the Reeves Superman movies is the most beautiful spectacle of film in superhero movies.
Yeah,
I say it's even better than Zack Snyder's Man of Steel Krypton. I'm an
avid Man of Steel defender, but I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, not even just the event of Krypton dying. I wasn't the biggest fan of Zod killing Jor-El. I was just accept your fate together. Let Jor-El just accept it.
Yeah,
and it also has a few hiccups. So we agree. We all agree the planet's gonna blow up, right? Yeah. So we really throw Zod and all his people into the family. Might as well just leave him here with the rest of us, right? I don't.
We're all doomed to die.
Exactly. So worst comes to worst, they stay in there indefinitely, which is against our laws, or they get out and they go do some messed up stuff,
which he does.
Exactly. So I always thought that was a bit iffy for Krypton's freaking law system. We're all gonna die. We all agree. Why are we throwing them away?
Brainiac.
Yeah, look at him. He's taunting him basically. I kind of do love it's just a hint of it, And you see it throughout the series. I remember when he meets Batman, he says something. Oh yeah, you're pretty good for a human, But it's he says it with so much spice to it.
You think shutting him down would be that easy? He's everywhere.
Which is always a mistake, you know. That just leads more to Krypton. Like, we really gave a computer control of everything. Like, let's say Brainiac isn't like as smart as he is anyway. Like, if somebody attacked us and they were able to get a virus into our system, we'd be screwed, man. Like, if somebody else could control Brainiac, yeah, I don't know. Krypton kind of deserved it, bro. I always agree with that. No matter what ending it is, I always agree. At the end, Krypton made its own bed.
Yeah, you know? Now they sleep. Now they have to sleep in it.
Yeah, like I've never felt like it's tragic, but it's tragic because they did to themselves. You know.
Yep.
It's not like, you know, like some versions where it's like, oh no, Krypton was just.
You know what blows my mind on how Brainiac is one of the smartest, intelligent, technological characters in DC, along with Cyborg. I'm just wondering who could out-hack who. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's also one of those things where I guess it depends on the version of Brainiac. Yeah, I like to think.
Yeah, and it depends who's writing it.
I feel like Cyborg gets nerfed a lot because they realize, like in the New 52 especially, it was like, oh, he can hack in anything. Like, he can hack into the back computer casually. But over time, it's like, okay, so that kind of ruins the tension if he can pretty much be connected to any computer on Earth. Because, you know, it leads to some stories being like, okay, if we need information, why don't we just go to Cyborg? Yeah. Like, was it written in a book? Because if it's on a computer, we should be able to get it.
You see how those two showed up and were like, Jor-El, we heard there's an intruder. Where is he? And Brainiac's, you fools. He's the intruder. Arrest him.
I kind of love that because it's like, Jor-El, like, he might have a bad rep, but it's like he's still like cool amongst the Kryptonians. Like, they like him. It's not, oh, there's an intruder here, Jor-El. Watch yourself. Be careful.
I'm like, he's got to be the most optimistic and just, I feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Bad reps given Kryptonians ever.
Yeah.
Back in these days.
He could have killed somebody doing that, but I guess at this point he don't care. He's like, I'm putting my son, get him off this planet.
Like, the planet's about to die. So at this point,
I kind of get that.
Oh gosh!
Whoa, Brainiac's back in heat.
This is what happens when you give a supercomputer access to everything on your planet.
Seriously, if somebody would like to hack them, like a sentient virus, they'd be screwed, man. Like, obviously, it's hard to hack Brainiac, but Jor-El. See, this is one part about Man of Steel I did like. Jor-El is a scientist, but he's very good at thinking on his feet. He can get pretty like combative if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Because most scientists, they would have just kept flying. You know, they'd be dead right now.
Wow.
He loves that gun, man.
Oh, but it's running low on power cells.
Stop or I'll shoot. You shoot him as you said it.
You shoot him anyway. Gosh, that never works.
That is really faulty building design. A dude can slide all the way down. I keep thinking in Superman they wouldn't do it like that. Because I guess we barely see Clark bleed. Yep. So it's just so jarring to see it in this show. That he's limping. That was a bad. I'll take it back. That was not easy. That was a very bad ball.
There's good old father-in-law.
You couldn't read this before the council, man? Like...
Help, it's too late.
he took this, like, he's obviously limping. You didn't see this before? He stepped out the shadows. Like,
his reaction was just like, good Lord.
I'm dying. He's a great voice. Because I think I vaguely remember it. Because I definitely watched this maybe like 2 years ago. This series is a lot more recent in my mind than Batman was.
This will be my first official time watching it from completely and 100%. And on top of that, I also got the Blu-ray, which I highly recommend you guys also get. If you have HBO Max, cool, but support physical media.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they got a device that just puts them to
God,
sleep?
I tell you, bro, if we had that on Earth, man, a lot of wars would be stopped. We'd be Gucci, man. I tell you, because babies, they just keep going, man. I mean, either send him to another world or he dies here with us, man. I mean,
like, what do you want? You want genocide, a full-on planetary destruction to happen, and you want the baby to die with you?
yeah, all things considered, Jor-El was kind of MVP. Not only did he save the last son, he sent the entire culture of
A
Krypton.
Krypton. Like,
So I was like, that's kind of MVP stuff, man. You know,
him and his brother, Zor-El. So,
oh yeah,
so
Kara's
what?
freaking father. Which
Even Kara's family. Well,
I like
I
how
guess,
some versions just ignore it, but it's like, oh, you know, they were doing it too. You know, he also
yeah.
sent his daughter. He agreed.
I'm pretty like, hey yo, Zor. So I'm sending my son to Earth. Are you sending your daughter there? I'm like, okay. Why? Why are we doing this? Because Krypton's about to explode. All right. I got you.
Yeah, it's got to be the hardest film in the world, letting a parent go. Like, I'm the parent, and like I can save my kid, but I can't be with them. Like, good on Jor-El and his wife for that, man. I don't know if I could do it. My last moments would be me just worrying about what did I send them.
Like, what did I just do?
Oh, that's nice. I remember this fake out.
Like,
I think it's funny because throughout this like opening, a lot of like classic Kryptonian powers have been displayed through technology. Like the guns are kind of heat based.
Yep.
The X-ray vision, the goggles he just used, you know. Obviously, I guess the flight machines, but you could just say that's generic sci-fi. So that's pretty. I don't know if that was intentional. That's pretty cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he'll have on Earth, Kryptons have to use here as actual technology. Can't that grandfather leave his home in peace, man?
And it sucks he can't be a legit grandfather anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gave it up for him, man. I respect that.
This
is always such a big gamble to me, which I guess is a big part of Superman's story. Because yeah, I sent him to Earth, but she could land anywhere, you know.
Yeah.
Like he could land in, you know, Russia, you know. I tell you, man. Yeah.
Oh, like Red Sun,
yeah,
Superman Red Sun.
There. He could land in the middle of the ocean. I mean, that's a lot of water in that. I like to think the ship is like, okay, don't hit the water, you know. But like, there's a lot of water on Earth, man. That's you know, so you could easily miss land. It doesn't. That is so scary to hear, bro.
Oh my god,
like that's scary. Like
he just leads them to their fate.
He was a satellite too. Like yeah, that's cool, man.
That's sick. That's sick,
man.
Sick, low, and savage at the same time. This is it.
That's sad. Yeah, he has to accept it. Like yeah. I think this is one of my favorite Kal-El ships, though. I really love that ship. Like, it's so sci-fi, but it's not like a lot of ships nowadays that, you know, he comes in, they're a bit too alien, you know?
Better than the Crystal-like ship from the Reeve movie?
I actually like the Crystal. I've always been a big fan of the Crystal aesthetic and Krypton anyway. Like, I'm glad that he especially was like, no, not just the Force of Solitude. A lot of, like, Krypton in general had that Crystal aesthetic. I think it looks a lot more like this. I like this. But it's very like, you know, generic future city that you'd see anything else. I think the Crystal aesthetic looks really good, which is why the Force of Solitude is one of my favorite places to go. And I'm kind of sad that it feels like we never get to go there as much as like the Batcave, but I think it's just as cool.
I see what you mean. Because it's either, man. Oh my
he just, you know, I'll just fly over Metropolis. But, you know, the Force of Solitude is so cool, especially in the DCAU when he turns into like a side zoo. I love that. Like when you hear all the animals that I've collected or I can't return home. Oh, that explosion, man! I tell you, bro. You can actually see the kryptonite being made. That's beautiful, man.
Yep. Ooh,
that's a good shot, man. This is some good stuff. I'm really glad they did this.
So you almost didn't make it.
Because they could have saved this later in the series of like, oh yeah, this is what happened on Krypton, but they wanted it to be the first episode. So you got. Because Clark is so unimportant in this, because it's not his story yet. It's still the story of like what happened before him, and I really dig that.
And just like that, Krypton is gone.
Phew, that kryptonite, boy.
Oh, there goes. I guess that was like a warp drive or kind of wormhole of some sorts. Hence, how the kryptonite got to Earth.
I always thought it was weird. Because it always seemed like no other planet in the universe had kryptonite. Yeah, that's the end. I literally did think that it would lead us into like at least a young Clark being found, but cool. It's
Well,
just all the Krypton right there. So I guess that explains the 3 parts.
Yeah, so now we begin part 2. I guess we could skip the intro because.
Oh yeah, we can. I mean,
yeah,
I do love it, but we don't got to see it every time.
Yeah, we don't got to see it again.
Get the same, you know.
Yeah. All right, so Last Son of Krypton part 2, folks. I think that's got to be Saturn. I think.
We're in the city ring. It's always Saturn in this show, man. I swear it is.
Oh no,
the moon.
The moon.
Okay.
Entering Earth's atmosphere. And here we are with Smallville.
It's always so jarring to see the young Kent say anything.
It's weird. It's weird.
Like when I see young Kents, it just takes me so off guard, man.
You're not wrong, because I'm used to just seeing like old John
glasses,
and Martha,
balding,
and glasses,
old
John and Martha Kent, not young. What the heck?
I like this a bit more than when the ship crashes, because I'm like, that could have been really dangerous. Like you saw the flashpoint continuity hits the middle of the city.
Like it didn't crash, it just hovered.
I think it makes a lot more sense for Jorah to program this ship. Don't crash with my baby son in it. I need you to on land. I need you to slowly descend. Okay, cool.
I like how Jonathan's like, holy Christmas.
Sweet Christmas, man. I tell you. Good on them for investigating. I would have kept driving.
Oh, it landed in the water, no doubt.
Okay, I was just joking. Well, I still hit water anyway, I guess. Somebody needs to make an Elseworld story of him landing in like Atlantis or something, man. I need that.
That would be a cool what if scenario. Elseworld story. DC, if you can.
I like how Martha was like quickly. She gave it no time. I always love how Jor-El's like, "Oh, you sure?" Not Jor-El.
Jonathan's like, put that thing. He was like, put that thing back. I'm like,
it's how quickly he falls for it too. It's like, yeah, he's a bit scared at first, but
see, he's like, it could be Russian.
Yeah, you can tell it took place in like the freaking. I don't know how old Clark is supposed to be in comparative to Bruce. At this point, I'm sure Bruce is like at least like 4.
Bruce has got to be like at least like a toddler.
Yeah. Look at this. I always love like how Jonathan's always like, "Ooh, strong grip."
Strong grip.
I love how quickly Jonathan's run over. He's like, "Yeah, we should probably put it back or call somebody." Holds it. Okay, I wanted to. Why not?
Smallville High. And there's Lana.
I'll always like Lana. I wish she appeared more in this series as more than just,
Yeah, she really only got a few appearances, which is crazy.
I like their friendship. Like I'm okay with her being his first love. I'm always going to be Clark and Lois, but it's like I'm a big fan of like, friendships between male and female that it's just platonic.
It's kind of like she's like the Gwen Stacy for Superman, except she doesn't get killed.
Yeah, it's like eventually we grew further apart. I found my real love, but I still want to know you. You're still one of my best friends.
You're my high school sweetheart.
Exactly. We can still be cool. I mean, I know when the New 52 Superman died, I'm pretty sure Lana got powers, right? Or was that just other Lois? It was something like that when they made the 2 Superwoman.
Oh, right. Oh, that's Jason Marsden's voice. He's voicing young teenage Clark. Interesting.
Okay, a different voice.
I never thought the voice of Max Goof voicing young Clark. That's actually a good.
I kind of dig it. I can hear it now.
Yeah, and of course he later goes on to voice Richie in Static.
I never noticed that, but yeah, I definitely hear it in Richie now. I tell you, the DC universe, only time random stuff like this can just happen while the superheroes nearby.
He just ran so fast right in front of her.
I think she knows at this point.
Yeah,
because she just made a joke. So I'm like, cool.
Well, she does find out where she shows up in a later episode where she's a fashion designer. I'm just like, oh, so that's how she knows. She already knew. And
I kind of prefer she already knows. Let's not Smallville it, bro. Let's not wait 6 seasons.
Oh gosh, let's
Oh
not.
my god! Like everything that could. Oh, this is where that part opening comes from. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Like hit a gas station. Really, man? The one gas station within miles you hit it. Seriously? Oh no, he's just showing everybody because they got to be saying this. He ripped the door off.
Yes, he did. Oh.
You couldn't mention the daughter when I was in there, man. Like, come on, man. Okay, they're never gonna tell a soul.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, I was just rewatching Wolverine the X-Men. Something similar happened in that show, Wolverine, and he saved somebody's daughter from an explosion like that. But he didn't take it as well as Clark does.
Man, like he took the whole bunt of the blast.
Be careful, they're like the Nerf Superman, and in this freaking universe, 2 episodes later, something like that's gonna knock him out. Yeah, there you go. Old Jonathan. Now we're good. All is great with the world.
Yep. Heat vision.
Heat vision's got to be the scariest power for him to control, man. He could look at someone the wrong way, just put a hole in their head. Oh, it touched you. It just didn't matter.
Yeah. The reveal that you are not from this world, Clark. You're from another planet.
I know I keep comparing it to Man of Steel, but this is also a favorite scene of mine in any Superman media. This is one of the things I really dug about Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Though I do think Man of Steel took that scene from correct me, like Birthright or something, where it's like, I just want to be your son, you are my son. That's from like an actual Superman comic.
Oh yeah, Birth. I never read it, but yeah,
I want to say it's Birthright. I could be wrong though.
Just watching this up, it reminds me of remember that Superman comic by Jeff Johns and Gary
Frank? Gary Frank, yeah, I love that. Secret Origins. Yeah, I love that.
That was great. I gotta get that.
But that is the blueprint for me, honestly, when it comes to Superman origin, bro. Even showing his younger days as a Superboy and the Legion, that was just very good storytelling. I love that.
I gotta get a physical copy of that.
I do too. That's one of those. If I get that's actually probably my favorite Superman comic in general.
Especially with Gary Frank doing artwork.
Oh yeah, that is Christopher Reeve right there.
That is Christopher Reeve right there.
He nailed it.
I am Jor-El. I am your father.
Laura L. You're not gonna say the full name. Why does only he say it? I don't.
You know what's weird? How in the Reeve movies, the first movie, Jor-El is the guide, and in the sequel, in Superman 2, Lara is the guide. Of course, there's 2 additions to Superman 2, so
I've always liked the idea that I know a lot of stories just go with Jor-El is like the only guide, and he's usually, he's just a machine or whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of do wish it was more of them together. I get some stories actually talk about like, oh yeah, I couldn't, replicate her brain waves in time or something like that.
Yeah. And now you got Superman and Lois, which is able to use both parents as AIs, which is very interesting.
Which I really dig. I think a mother's touch is a very important thing. I mean, Clark obviously got it. He was fine. He had Martha, who was a great mother. I've always thought that the Kents and the L's would be great friends. They wouldn't be happier that Clark ended up with anybody else.
Let him get some fresh air.
He's booking him, man. It's the crop scene.
Remember,
he ran slower than he was before. Oh, there you go. See the dust.
And the long leaps.
In a single bound. Not a building, but close enough.
Reminds me of that scene from Superman Returns.
Oh yeah.
It was just a flashback scene, but still.
God, the DCAU style, like I like the daytime scenes, but they really maybe it's because they worked on like BTS for so long. Yeah, they know how to draw the night, man. They know how to make it look beautiful. Because that moon shot was beautiful. Would you say flying is probably Superman's most iconic power?
Yes.
I think it always needs to be held with a certain reverence to it. Like it should always be the last power Clark adopts or that he
I think
understands how to use.
I think people just say heat vision because heat vision is his most offensive power that he uses.
Yeah, but
Regardless,
I get it because it's like that doggone get out of here.
Like, get out of here! What are you doing? This is my job. I'm like, I'm the one that hurts the sheep.
Oh man, but no, I get you. I think heat vision. Well, I wouldn't want a Superman without heat vision. I feel like I could live without it. I feel like you cannot have a Superman without flight, which I know is ironic because he didn't start with it, but it's how he is now. You know, that cape looks ridiculous if he's not flying. I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me.
Yep. Yeah,
did you ever read Frank Miller's Superman Year One?
Frank Miller wrote that?
Yeah. I mean,
no,
I wouldn't read it anyway. So I wouldn't read it if I was you.
Yeah,
it's.
I feel like Frank.
It starts off as like peak Frank Miller, but then it quickly devolves to like modern day Frank Miller, and it's like, okay, well,
I feel like he might be losing. You think he might be losing his touch?
I think you can make that argument for the last decade, man. But that's either here or there, you know.
Good. Yep. That says it all.
That's a nice drawing, actually. You know, pretty good for like what a 4-year-old.
She fell from that. What was she doing all the way up?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, why she up there to begin with? Like, that's the problem.
Well, now we fast forward to the Daily Planet.
Good on them, because I honestly thought, because it's been a while since I've seen it, I thought it would be like Krypton, Smallville, last part is like Metropolis, but good on them. They just skip some of that. This is the first Perry I think I've ever seen. Like, he's always what I think of when I think of Perry.
This is the first time I saw Perry White as well.
I really like Lawrence Fishburne, but I feel like he never got a chance to do anything. You know?
Nah, he didn't get the. Oh, speaking of Clark. I Lois, Perry, you be the judge of that.
I will say, this is probably one of those Clark Kents that I'm like, I can see why people complain about the glasses because, like, you know, Christopher Reeves, he did the hunch and whatnot. You know,
the hunch and the high pitched voice and
this Clark nerdiness. That man is built. You can tell that is like 6'7" Smallville farm boy. You know. Like, I'd be surprised if he wasn't a superhero.
Especially with him wearing a suit like that. Like, look away how his posture, his
posture, he's straight up on his back. Like, so, I mean, I get it. I don't need every version like that because I know Henry Cavill, you seen his Clark. I swear he just put on glasses, but I don't think it's nothing else.
He just put on glasses. Like, he don't even have the hair curl or anything.
No, this is my favorite Jimmy, probably. I think it's hard to say because I feel like most other versions kind of mess up Jimmy, which is unfortunate because I do feel like he's important to Superman's mythos. But this is probably my favorite Jimmy. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Probably the best. Good interpretations of Jimmy.
I think Smallville Jimmy was pretty good till they unnecessarily killed him. But then they tried to be like, oh no, that was that Jimmy's brother.
They had a good thing going for that Jimmy in Smallville.
They did. And they messed him up, but you know what it is, I guess.
Smallville has its issues, a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I love it, but I'll always be the first to talk about my problems with it, man.
Angela Chen. Basically, this city's Vicky Vale.
I always like when like the myth. How did he get here?
or I'm wrong. Summer Gleason. You know, Summer Gleason is basically like the big reporter in Gotham. So
I get all their names mixed up, man. Like, it's like I think it's one of the maybe not the weakest parts about Superman mythos, but I feel like a lot of his shows don't like go into like the cast of the Daily Planet because they are their own set of characters. It's not just Lois, Perry, and Jimmy.
Yeah, it's like
what's his name? Longbone?
Lombard.
I love him. Anytime I see him, I love him.
Cat Grant.
I wish it went more into them. But you know,
I don't think Cat even appears in this universe.
I won't be surprised if she didn't. If she did, it's probably like a background scene where it's like, oh, her name was on the desk.
Yep.
The Lexo
suit. Of course.
Which is funny because until Justice League, did he ever wear like his power suit?
Justice League was the first time you put it on.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess this is, you could count this. I don't know. Maybe this is where he made it smaller and more tight, bro. You know,
We didn't get full on power suit Lex until Justice League. In my favorite episode of Justice League.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it, man. All in the day's work someday.
And there's old shiny bald head himself.
This Lex, he was great in this series, but he definitely reached his peak in Justice League, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you could kind of say the same thing for Superman. I think they both were great in this series, but when you see them like as both in their prime, I guess they get a lot better.
Yep. Uh-oh. What have we here? What do you see, Clark?
Is that Metallo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pre-Metallo, John Corbin.
Yeah. Do you have a preference with Corbin's identity? I know sometimes it's like he's a mercenary. I know in Secret Origins he was just like an old military flame of Lois. Like, do you have any preference?
That's a good question.
I'm kind of the mind where it's like I kind of like him because I feel like I'm a big fan of Lois's father, like General Lane, being kind of a semi-antagonist until I guess he's won over.
Nah, Superman and Lois really make me like Sam Lane because we all know in the comics Sam Lane is the ultimate Superman prick.
He's like he is just Superman's General Ross, man. Like it's insane.
Oh yes.
Like I prefer my Sam Lane to be antagonistic at first, but then he's won over. I feel like in the comics he's never going to be won over. I'm like, how much does Clark have to do? But,
Yeah. Wow, Lois.
Oh, Lois.
Got
that final girl syndrome, just tripping over thin air. Man.
Always the damsel in distress. And there he is.
I love that pose. It's so impractical that he would lift something like that, but he's Superman. It doesn't matter. God bless him.
Are you all right, miss? Or not?
It was a good costume too. Like it's his classic look, but it looked like in that shot his tights were a bit darker than his cape, and as far as coloring.
Yeah. Now, as for Metallo, I don't know, because when I first read about New 52 Metallo in the Forever Evil event, where he had his one-shot issue, and found out that he has a military background, I found that interesting. So I don't know. I don't really care. I'll just whatever background that they give him, I just take it.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like that's me and most Superman villains. Like, again, going back to Brainiac, I'm cool with either origin. I kind of flip-flop which one I prefer all the time. It's kind of like Master Splinter. Like, the year before he was actually a rat. The year before he was
like
Rat Yoshi.
Pet Splinter or Human Splinter. Like,
yeah, it's like it's kind of just preference. I wouldn't say either is like fully better. Both can work.
Yeah, I mean, I always prefer Pet Splinter.
Yeah, I did too for a while until I guess 2012, which isn't even my favorite version of Turtles, but I really like that Splinter.
Yep. Oh, come on now.
that was a good dodge, man. Is he guiding it? Okay.
Yeah, I think he is. Wow. Uh-oh.
Are you kidding me? Of all the places, all the sky up here. That's just unlucky.
Wow.
I tell you though. That's a cliffhanger, man.
That's a very interesting way to end the episode.
I was just about to say my favorite part of any Superman. I love seeing Superman save a plane. It's just I love watching it.
The plane rescue from Superman Returns, pretty much.
Oh, I love it. I know a lot of people make fun of it because of its how he catches it in the end. I'm like, you're worrying about the wrong thing.
Yeah,
it's Superman.
All right, Last Son of Krypton, Part 3.
We got through this movie quickly, man. It just feels like it's going back to back, man.
That's why I love it. That's why I'm looking forward to when we get to World's Finest.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be the best. That's gonna be the best 3-parter we go through until we get to the Cadmus arc.
Oh, God bless the Cadmus arc. That's peak cartoon. That's peak cartoon. Anything right there. Peak animation. Yep.
And they're playing the snippets of the intro.
Oh yeah, catch the nose, man. Yeah.
Pull up.
You guys can help a bit. You telling me that your controls don't help in there, man? Did you see I'm trying to stop this thing?
You still have one wing available to you.
Exactly. Well, can y'all help me a bit? Teamwork.
I just remember the tail is also broken. So.
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
It might. Yeah, you might as well just let me handle it. I get you. Oh my God! It's a bird. It's a plane. It is a plane.
Under, Clark. Yes, I was about to say go under.
I like this because this is the first time he's had to do something like this, so he's learning. He has to learn quickly though on the go.
It's always the plane rescues. Like Supergirl did it in her pilot. Superman did it in Superman Returns. A plane rescue here in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, have you played the Superman Returns game?
I wanted it a lot as a kid, but I've never played it. I've only heard about it.
Yeah, I see. Oh wow, those two would have been cooked.
Yeah, it's like I'm glad people in Metropolis have the idea that don't wait for somebody to save you. Move on your own, man.
Move. This ain't Gotham.
Busy. I'm already busy, bro. Please move.
I mean, yeah, Metropolis.
Yeah, it's still going. Jesus Christ! Like I didn't think I don't remember the scene being this long.
Like this is like my second time watching this episode.
Was he gonna stop on the mime?
The mime spoke.
See, it's funny because if he would have just held his ground, he would have been fine. He could have just, oh look, I stopped it with my wall, man. Oh yeah, the tights are definitely a bit darker. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah. The short.
That's weird. Were they always like that in this show?
I think so.
No, I just never noticed it then.
I think in this show, yes.
It's just so jarring not to be the same red as the cape and boots. This scene. Who is he? Why is he flying? Is he super?
Where is he from?
I love it. I think Superman Man Tomorrow did this. If you've seen that,
yeah, that was
okay. Good. Lois, whatever. This year, she said.
Yeah, nice S.
Yeah, like that's. I forgot they used to get away with jokes like that.
Superman. It's catchy. Sticks.
I think it's a Marverse. He made a joke. Like, it's never going to catch on. Don't call him that.
Like with Jameson giving villains names in the Raimi trilogy.
Oh, that was the first time I ever heard of Doctor Strange was in Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah. Of course, that was before. Doctor Strange never even popped into my brain until Superhero Squad. And that was like back in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
And here's our official.
Oh, is this is this that scene? Don't be that nut in Gotham.
Like not like that other nut job in Gotham.
That's what I always wondered, like when this series takes place in correlation to Batman.
Yeah,
because like Batman's pretty accepted by the time his show's around. Like,
no, Clark, you don't have to give up nothing.
I like that. That's a good lesson and a good way to talk about it. This had to be this had to be in Bruce's early years, bro. Because I truthfully believe, like, I know he's been a hero a bit longer.
Yep.
Than Clark, but like I wonder how much longer in this universe.
Who knows?
I think Robin's the problem. Like Dick is the biggest problem with trying to fix this timeline. Because it's like, by the time Tim is around, it feels like Clark's only been Superman for a few years.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Clark, you're scaring the woman.
You could have asked. You could have just flew. Like, it's Lois. If you flew by her and said, I want to go, she'd be like, yes, and you could do it. Like, you just gave her a heart attack now. Oh, speaking of like Lois, I don't think I said it earlier, but this is probably my definitive Lois Lane design. I think every Lois Lane design should pull from this.
It's funny. Every Lois is like, when you read about Lois in the comics, she's either a brunette or she's a redhead.
Yeah, I'll say it's surprising to me how consistent her eyes are always like violet. I really like the violet eyes.
Yeah, to match with the purple blazer.
Yeah, because I know the comics have definitely been doing that. I know in Rebirth, those violet eyes were always popping. Not to spoil it, but I kind of do hate how their relationship pretty much never goes anywhere.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
that's the biggest issue with the DCAU, because even when he should have told her in that episode of Justice League, It's like the series always it dabbles around it, like, oh yeah, he'll tell her eventually. Never
Nope,
does.
never does.
And it's like, yeah, that's a shame.
Lex is
Clark?
getting
You showing too much brain, man. You're like, I ain't gonna look at you a
easy,
bit harder.
Clark.
You're showing too many of your cards. Wow, look at the size difference. That's pretty nice. He should definitely scrunch because Lex would be like, "Oh, you kind of big, ain't you?" You know.
So,
That's not a good thing. He should remember that. Clark, you make it too much of a scene, man.
you're like, you don't step. Like, Clark, you're overstepping your bounds here.
Every
Wow.
version, there's always something with Lex. I think that's always funny because that seems like something I see a lot. That Lex used to want Lois, and she ended it, or she didn't want him back. I guess it just goes until like, while she really ends up with a farm boy like Clark Kent.
A good person.
Yeah.
Well, what do we have here? Clark doing some detective work.
Please, somebody do it.
Casnia. Oh my gosh.
I've heard that somewhere. I was like, I know I heard it from this
It's
show, but that has to be like an actual DC place, right?
it's in Justice League. It gets mentioned in Justice League, but
That's right.
I don't know if this was the first time they mentioned
I think it has to be because I don't think Batman never did. I don't think, and neither did Batman Beyond. So I want to say it just has to be the first time. Like, yeah, I think it has to be because the Justice League was more like a callback, right? They didn't actually go there, did they?
It looks, yeah, I'm looking it up. It looks like Casnia is strictly a country that's, yep, it's strictly in the DC universe.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Oh, Bibbo.
Another character. I wish Superman.
He does not get nothing at all.
Metropolis is such a rich place full of characters. I really do wish we got to explore these characters more. You know, like I don't. He don't need to have his own story, but like he's just another example of like Metropolis is just filled with good people from all walks of life.
Yep.
Because Bilbo, he's your guy. You know what I'm saying? You like him. He's a likable guy.
Yep.
He'll invite you to the bar. You know,
he's your word on the street kind of guy. He lets you stick around.
Exactly. He's one of those people you want on Superman's side. He's in his bar. Yeah, the anniversary of the Big S. Something like that. Free drinks for everyone. He's just a cool guy. I wish we saw more of him.
Let me just see.
Bibbo. Last time I saw him was like in Young Justice, I think.
Oh, interesting. Bibbo made his first appearance in the 1980s.
Oh, so he's actually a pretty new character.
Pretty modern.
Okay, pretty young character.
Yeah, he's only made appearances in Lois and Clark, of course, Superman TAS. A few appearances in Smallville, Young Justice. Wait a second. Bibbo appears in an early scene in Superman Returns. Really? Huh.
So they always sneak him in there, but he's never like okay. Yeah, I know he appeared in the Death of Superman, right? Like the New 52 one, that movie.
Yes, the Death and Return of Superman. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean Death of Return, Death and Reign. Sorry.
No, I get you. Because I'm pretty sure it was his bar that Clark revealed himself to Lois in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's definitely Metallo. I hate you in Metallo.
That
something about his face. Yeah, it's so punchable. It's like I'm glad what happened to him.
He really does have a punchable face. They gave him a kind of British accent.
I dig it, I like Metallo. I think Metallo took the masterful hand though, because after you get him like the first time, it's kind of hard to make him one of those like reoccurring villains who's the big boss of the story.
Yep.
He feels like that is so amateur hour, bro.
Like you just happen to have the Lexo suit in your ship's bunker.
Yeah, you can't leave now. Like that's so amateurish. Oh look, it's Mr. Freeze's polar bear, man.
Wait a second.
I think people always underestimate that while Superman isn't primarily a detective, he kind of has to be, you know,
He
as a reporter.
He has an investigative personality to him.
That's why I always like when they team up. You know, he gets to show it off a bit more. You know, he's never going to be as good a detective as Bruce, but you know, he's not bad at it.
That's
he
why
has to be good at it.
That's why every time he picks out a point or sees something that Bruce doesn't, Bruce will probably go look at him like, "You're learning."
Finally. I bet you Bruce wishes he had X-ray vision to make his job a lot easier.
Or superpowers.
Even the ship is purple. I'll tell you, Lex loves his color scheme, man.
Oh God. No mercy, Corbin. No mercy.
Oh, I thought they were gonna just dump her in the water. Ooh, that was some good speed right there.
Perfect timing.
See it. Blast him, you fools!
You again.
Well, that's got to be a scary sight. You got to be so precise with that to not know through someone. That's why I always say when people say Clark doesn't train for his powers. Like, if he didn't train, he'd be killing everyone by accident. Oh, I love scenes like this.
Ooh,
I love when he does stuff like that.
Be careful with them bullets.
I don't need a gun. I am the barrel.
Did that thing just make like a car trip? Good gosh.
Time for the heavy artillery. Good on Lois for helping.
Ooh.
Oh, he's dead, by the way. That was hard metal. You killed old man Lois.
No, I'll say he got a concussion for sure.
Oh.
Sweetheart. Yep, right from the intro.
I always forget that Corbin, I guess, was his first like physical adversary in the show. Lex is just always in the background. Aww. God, they're such a good couple. Never went anywhere. God, I hate that. I hope one of these days the DCAU gets a movie just about Superman, and it's just about him. Because I always felt like his show got the short end of the stick. Like it deserved another season after the whole Dark Side deal, all that story.
Yep.
Electricity. I swear in this universe, electricity is just something
they made. No, they just okay. I'll tell you something. I know people like to give Superman a lot of flack, thinking he's not. He holds back. Yes, he holds back. But let me tell you something. Every instance in this show where he gets like blasted or electrocuted or something, he just like. It's just like it weakens him. I'm just like
that was cool. That was cool how he pushed him and he made it to the other side. But no, I definitely agree. Because when I saw he get electrocuted, you know what I thought about? I think about that infamous scene. To me, it's infamous in Justice League, the Aquaman episode, when he's chasing Deadshot and he picks up a sewer panel and just shocks him and then knocks him out. I'm like, bro.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. No, Superman in season 1 of Justice League, he got hit by everything and it's still affected. I'm like, how?
Yeah, I get it. Y'all don't want him to like fix every situation, but then make better threats. Like you
stop making him weak to everything. See, look at this.
Yeah, you know what? After this episode, Blackwing, we're gonna do a fall counter every time Superman gets like knocked down by stuff that shouldn't have knocked him down.
A fall counter?
It's got to be this series and it's got to be Justice League. I think it's a bit better than Unlimited, but definitely like season 1 of Justice League, everything knocks this man.
It's everywhere. In Justice season 1 of Justice, it's everywhere.
It could be some standard laser hit Superman. He's my stomach. Like come on.
Every time.
Oh, this is very good. I like this shot. The DCAU, they know how to do fire, man.
Moving. Yeah, they do. And the armor's still moving.
I don't remember this part of the fight. This is pretty cool. I love when people pick them up by escape. All things considered, I mean, if I was like from Casting or whatever, and I was looking at his armor, I'm like, hey, he's doing pretty good against this guy. This guy's like bulletproof. I don't know, man. I'd want to buy more.
Oh gosh,
Clark, get back up, man. It's been a minute now. You can get back up now.
Get up, Clark.
Okay. See, he'll have an entire building drop on him. Be like, I'm good. then he'll get shocked by something and be like, ah.
Corbin think he got the last laugh.
He's really going all the way for this. I would just think he's dead by now. We don't know his limits.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be freaking out right now. For like
Tossed
War
him
Machine when he got shot out the sky.
Tossed him up to the roof. Playing the theme song. Nice.
I'll be taking that.
Why couldn't you do that earlier, Clark?
Because he needed to be tossed around a bit for the runtime.
Yeah, toss him around a bit. Let him.
That runtime, they got to get the runtime out.
Yes.
Like this is like what, like 10 episodes before they discovered kryptonite, and they just use that all the time. Why would you even jump back, Corbin? You got no balance. Just stay down, bro. You lost.
Yep. That is
didn't even need super breath.
That is typical Warner Brothers Looney Tunes logic.
Gotta love it.
You are under arrest.
Which Superman is this again? This isn't George Newbern, right? This is
it's Tim Daly. This is
Tim Daly. God,
I
love
underrated
both of them
voice.
so much, man. And I've always felt like DCAU Superman had a bit of an edge to him, not too much, to the point it's like, injustice, but it's just enough where it's like, okay, I wouldn't want to mess with this guy.
Yep. Well, I gotta give George credit now where credit is due.
George is like my favorite. I get why a lot of people he's like the Kevin Conroy to Superman. I get it.
More people say, "Oh, hey Lex, you got a visitor."
Yeah, I got it there too. I'm good.
Like, good day, Lex, or good evening. And he just opens the window.
I love anytime they do a meeting like this with Lex in his office, Superman at the window.
You say that all the time, Lex.
Just looking at him.
I'll be watching you, Luthor. Hence why Joker tried to destroy it in the team-up episode.
Yeah, which you think he learned his lesson after that. I guess you could say he kind of did.
He always likes to make things a business offer.
I love businessman Lex, Like, I like him kind of in a power suit because I think it makes him more super villain, but I've always loved I'm in my office making plans.
Throw it. I'll be watching you, Luthor. Yep.
I'm not finished. Yeah, that's the only person who can just walk away from Lex Luthor, man. Well, I guess fly away.
And nope, sorry, folks.
Way to go, big guy.
Yeah, you're okay.
No.
I think that. Oh, we're not done yet.
Oh no! Oh yeah, we gotta show who.
Ooh, what we got here?
I think so. Be there, right? There you go. Yeah,
look who's drifting in space.
Yeah, so this entire three-parter has set up probably two of his most iconic villains. That's nice. Not Metallo. Forget your Metallo. Yeah, he killed these guys, by the way. He had to. Never see him again. Oh my god.
Oh!
I don't remember the pool. Oh my god. I did not expect the blood.
No,
I know it's purple, but Jesus. You telling me okay? That's kind of stupid of you, Brainiac. Did he just find the ship? I would have to imagine he found this. Like we're being shown this now, but it happened as soon as he escaped Krypton. Because next time we see him, he's got a lot of planets on his bow, and he implies he's been doing this for quite some time.
And he already has a body.
Exactly. So I don't know that. I feel like that's one of those flashbacks. Yeah, this is what to expect to come.
I'm just like, ooh, did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, but I genuinely enjoyed that three-parter, man. That was really great.
That was great. That was really great.
In a time where it feels like Superman fans get nothing, I really like that.
Yeah. But Man, that was great. I mean, it's almost equal to amount of actual DC animated universe movie, just minus just a few minutes, just by a few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our commentary on The Last Son of Krypton, and pretty much it got us beat. First episode gave us life on Krypton, leading up to the destruction. Second episode gave us life in Smallville with a quick time jump to Metropolis, and then part 3 gave us our boy in doing what he does in Metropolis. Meeting of the characters: Lois, Jimmy, Perry, Lex, Angela Chen, who I feel like I don't know if she appears in any other form of DC media. I think she's just strictly for the show, I think.
I feel like I've never seen anywhere else, so I'd probably take her word on it.
I'm looking her up now. Oh, what do you know? She's appeared in New 52, first appearance, Justice League of America, Vixen Rebirth one shot, but she's only had she's only had 5 appearances only. So
okay, so this is just people
scratch.
And this was her first appearance in this show.
Yeah. This
is just, I guess, fans of. I get it. Most writers grew up with it, so I get it. Okay.
She's an original character. Angela Chen was created by Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, and Bruce Timm, first appearing in Superman TAS. Yep. See, I got it. Despite how we feel about Bruce Timm, I really wish he and Paul Dini would work together again someday, because a lot of people seem
it was such a match made in heaven. They
lead some people in YouTube videos when they talk about the history of the DCAU or just Batman the Animated Series. They seem to leave out Paul Dini as being part of the creation of it. He is part of the create. It was all 3 of them. All 3.
To me, I feel like maybe because I guess Bruce Timm he's kind of stayed with it, but I feel like, not to insult him, but I feel like a lot of his latest projects where it was just him kind of show that the others kind of reined him in, and they kind of because that Killing Joke film, man, was kind of, you know what I'm saying, man, and Batman and Harley Quinn was kind of, I don't know, man. He might need to get the team back together. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Justice League versus Fatal 5. I know that was them, but
that wasn't them, because that was pretty good. So if that wasn't Bruce Timm at all, that's kind of sad.
I mean, I know
the best thing for a minute.
I mean, I don't know if Bruce Timm had any. Okay, he produced it. He only produced.
Okay, so
he produced it. Alan Burnett wrote the screenplay. Okay.
So they kind of got the team back together for that, at least
kind of.
Okay, because I was that's better than both of these other things I just mentioned. So I don't know.
But they gotta get Paul Dini on the phone, because.
No, is it just retired? Because I feel like if they asked him, he'd say, "Okay, sure, pay me a decent amount of money, pay me the right money." Because I have to imagine they've asked, right?
Look, I can go down I'm going down the list of shows that he's written for outside of his DC stuff. Ozzy and Drix, Duck Dodgers.
Remember that? Love that.
Ultimate Spider-Man. He pretty much wrote some of the better episodes. He wrote the Spider-Verse episodes.
Oh, okay.
See, that already showed that already
sold me on that.
Yeah. Justice League Action.
Okay, pretty funny show. I like the show. Okay.
Yep. Hulk and the Agents of Smash, which I'm surprised I'm surprised he wrote for that show too. What else do we got here?
Ultimate Spider-Man and Agents of Smash. Did he do Avengers Assemble at all?
Yes, he did. Yep, that's up here too.
I didn't even know he was in Marvel stuff. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but I didn't even know
that. Clone Wars. I'm surprised about that.
Which one? Tarkovsky's or
2008.
Okay, cool.
Symbiotic Titan.
I love that show, man. Let me tell you, boy, they canceled it too soon, boy. That's what's you call it? That's Gendry Tarkovsky, but
that's again.
That's one of his greatest shows, because he just ended one of his other shows, Primal. Oh God, if they bring Symbiotic Titan back.
Wait, Primal just ended?
Yeah, it's. I think the team has hinted that they would like to explore the universe, but as far as the main character, that story of Spear and Fang, it's over.
So damn,
it's a shame. Damn. I'm kind of glad it's over, because everything going on HBO Max, they might have did another cliffhanger, got canceled. So I'll take what I can get, man.
Jeez. What else we got here? Brave and the Bold.
Oh, okay. I can see that. His style is all over that. In some episode, I can definitely see it.
Like all these things that I'm naming, like, and Paul Dini has not been brought back on for any modern DC animated project since.
Which is so surprising to me because, like, I think the Tomorrowverse has been pretty good so far.
It gets a lot of. I feel like it gets a lot of flack though, because people say they give praise to the Long Halloween because it's Batman, but they bash the Justice Society movie, which it wasn't that bad. Now that I think about it,
I think the criticism of that movie is so kind of hollow to me. Like, it should, like, most of the criticisms that I've seen, like, it should have just been a Flash movie. It should have just been a Justice Society movie. That's not really a fair critique, though. That's like what I would have preferred. But it's like on its own merits, it's a solid movie.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go back and rewatch it because I only watched it once, but I gotta go back and rewatch it.
I'll definitely say after like the halfway point when they get to Atlantis, the story does kind of waver a bit.
Yeah, okay. That reveal that Aquaman was being controlled by Psycho Pirate was that's definitely caught me off guard completely.
Cool reveal, but at that point, I'll admit the film did kind of lose me, but it was still a good film. Yes. I think Men of Tomorrow is like the best animated film for Clark we've got in a minute. I like Death and Rain. Let me not say
Death and Rain was great.
Let me not say that.
I've rewatched.
I'll just say it's good.
Like the final fight between Superman and Doom. I say Death of Superman is way better. I'm gonna be honest. I'm saying this now. It's better than Superman Doomsday.
Ooh, they might crucify you for that.
I don't care. I mean,
look, Superman Doomsday. I'll tell you one thing about it. It's definitely Superman Doomsday for the first 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, for the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then for the rest of the movie, it's Reign of the Superman. Except it's just
the singular Superman.
It's the singular clone Superman.
That's not Connor. It's just in that name only.
It's just a clone. It's just a clone. It's just a Superman clone that Lex happened just to make, which I can't believe how he got that to work.
Yeah, I mean, I like Death a bit more only for the fact I always felt like one of the biggest impacts of that story that the Justice League did try to help, and they just
the League actually did something, and yet they still got their butts handed to them.
And they got some. But I think that's always been the point of Doomsday. Like if it's just Superman shows up, no, you got to show the Justice League. They tried, they failed. Superman's got to go all out. He's got to go beyond his limits. He's probably gonna kill himself doing it. You know. Yep. So
and then you got Reign, and then you had Reign of Superman, where it pretty much shows that Darkseid was like the main mastermind behind it, saying like, "Oh yeah, I sent Doomsday to Earth." I'm like, "Oh,"
which I like. I don't like eventually where it went because that universe got butchered right when it was getting really good. You know, we got 2 good Superman movies, we got a good Wonder Woman movie.
Yes,
Bloodlines. You get Justice League, Apocalypse, and it's like, okay, this universe is dead. I'm like, bro, you were just getting good. You just got over like 8 Batman films and Titans films. You were just
let me tell you, Apocalypse War came out of nowhere.
Because it feels like a rush job. I'm gonna agree with you. Because like when they made Bloodlines, it definitely felt like it was like set up for a sequel.
Oh yeah, it was.
Somebody behind the scenes had to be like, yeah, just cut it all, cut the universe. Just you get one last film, go crazy with it.
Yeah, it's funny. James Tucker was the producer for Apocalypse War, which is interesting. But we could have gotten more. We really could have gotten more. I mean, most of the movies in that universe are either Justice League or Batman movies.
Or Titans. So
I wouldn't say Titans because they had to share a movie. Well,
you're right. Because Titans versus Justice League is like that. You know both.
That I feel like that's more that is more of a Titans movie than a Justice League movie. I take that back.
Because they got Judas Contract, Titans versus Justice League. Am I missing one?
That's it.
Oh, well, never mind. I thought they had like 3. I take it back.
No, that's all they got. That's all they got. The League had Flashpoint Paradox, Throne of Atlantis, War, Dark. Well,
I don't even know what to call Dark. The Apocalypse, Dark Side. I don't know what to call that.
No, I'm talking about the actual Justice League Dark movie.
I mean, they're in it, but it's kind of like how they are in Justice League versus Titans. They're more so just there to be controlled and fought for like a few seconds. It really is like Constantine as a Thanos movie.
Yes,
it is. And Swamp Thing to a lesser extent.
I really don't like that movie at all. And then Suicide Squad had their one movie.
I always forget that's in that universe. But I actually do like that movie, funny enough, Hell to Pay. It's just I always forget about it.
It's very forgettable. And it reveals that Thawne is actually still alive after being shot in the head. I'm like, wow.
I'll take it. With all the BS speeches can do, sure, why not?
But all right, yeah. So yeah, folks, that's our. I know we kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah, that's our commentary on Superman the animated series, the first 3-parter, The Last Son of Krypton. I'm looking forward to going through this show because this will be like my first time watching pretty much the important episodes, and I've already watched a fair share of the episodes we're not doing commentary on already. So this will be, I could say, my first time watching the whole show from beginning to end. And I'm looking forward to it. I will be looking forward to it. Tex, how about you, man?
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, again, I've always been a bit more of a Superman fan than a Batman fan. And BTS is so ingrained because I see it everywhere. It gets all the anniversaries. Everybody
We see it everywhere. When you ask somebody what's the best Batman piece of Bat media out there, the animated series. I'm like,
yeah. So I'm so used to it. Superman is it's only in small groups. I rarely see people react to it or rewatch it. So I'm very excited. So I can't wait, especially for like the second and third season. I really can't wait.
Oh yes, with those team ups, World's Finest is what I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Folks, you
always talk about it. Anytime they bring up BVS, somebody's like, oh, "World's Finest did it first and better."
I'm like, yeah, World's Finest did do it better, and this is coming from someone who actually liked BVS.
So you can be fair to both, but if you like one more than other,
I mean, yeah, BVS. I mean, I like BV, the ultimate cut of BVS. I like it, but I'll admit it has its problems. I'll admit it.
Oh, yeah. World's Finest is
peak.
I want to say practically flawless, but yeah, I mean, if it fits, it fits. You know what I'm saying?
If you want a good Superman Batman project, World's Finest is up there. Public Enemies, of course, hands down one of the best ones, and Apocalypse. So yeah. Definitely, we need more. We need more. Like they really need to do more of those. They need more of those instead of just doing one or the other. Do both. Put them both in a project together. Like stop slacking.
Yeah,
DC.
I definitely saw that.
I was like, I hope you're listening, WB. Despite
a Trinity movie, like the closest thing to a Trinity movie was Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, I was surprised that when I first watched, I was surprised Wonder Woman was even in that movie. I was like, wait a minute,
she's not on any of the promotional material, so they really like.
No, she wasn't.
So good on her. Like when she shows up pretty early, so it's pretty funny how like important she is in the grand scheme of things.
And the way how Clark just addresses her is like, you. I'm like, what do you mean?
Who's he talking to? Oh, like Wonder Woman.
I'm like, Wonder Woman? What are you doing here?
Oh, well, she'll show up, have a little cameo. No, her and the Amazons they in the film, man. She goes to them with Apocalypse. I'm like, oh, this is a Trinity film. This is
cool. Yep. Oh man. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to this commentary. We're looking forward to going through the entire Superman the Animated Series. So before we head out, Tex, where can everybody find you?
As always, guys, you can find me at The Detective on YouTube and Twitter.
And do you have any upcoming videos that we should all look forward to, or still in the works?
Let's just say still in the works for now.
Gotcha. And always, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch at Blackwing2040. As always, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified whenever I go live or whenever a new video goes up. We look forward to going through the rest of this show. Hope you guys are going to be sticking along for the ride for us because we still have a lot of shows to cover down the pipeline, especially with us trying to get to Batman Beyond, then Static, and then we end it with JL and JLU. It's going to be a fantastic ride, guys. And I know this marathon is definitely going to overlap into 2023, which I was afraid of, but heck, what can you do? But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Until then, I am Vengeance. I am Darkness. I am Blackwing.